Hey everyone, and welcome to the documentary. I'm Professor Foss, or you can just call me Foss, and I will get to work with you this semester on learning more about this great genre that is documentary. Some of you are probably coming into this. Maybe you're a big fan of documentaries. Maybe it's a genre you're wanting to learn more and more about. It is a fascinating genre. It's been part of film really since films were being made and exhibited. Documentary has been there. And if you subscribe to any platforms or watch TV in general, you'll start to see documentaries are everywhere. Maybe you're an aspiring filmmaker or wanting to go into the industry in some way. Learning the format of documentaries will help you if you want to grow a business, if you're wanting to film shooting documentary style commercials, interviews, things like that. You'll learn some practical things that will be able to help you. But in general, hopefully, we get to watch some really good films and hopefully, we get to grow together in understanding this rich and amazing genre that is documentaries. What I'd like to do now is just go over briefly Canvas, and so you can kind of see the flow of things. This is going to be an online course, so I want to make sure you understand how things are going to kind of um, work themselves out, and how we're gonna do this this course. So let's jump on over to Canvas. Okay, so over here in Canvas, you will see the home page. I don't intend on putting more, on here. Just kind of a typical landing page, but I did want to direct your attention to a few things. I am going to have you add a Teams course, so hopefully you have Teams downloaded. You'll just click this link and then put in this course code right here, and you'll be able to join the Teams class. And we'll use that in case you need to meet with me. That will be a place if you need to have a meeting. Of course, we can schedule on time a meeting, and then if for some reason class we need to meet, there'll be one point where you do a presentation. If you need to meet up with me in that way, that's where we'll come together on Teams. The other thing is you'll probably notice when you took this class that it's a Monday, Wednesday 2 o'clock class, and they assigned a room for us, even though it's always been an online class. What I've done and the administration has done is we've changed that location to the Robson Library 206. If we need to do a screening, it's kind of changed how we were going to implement doing the screening of documentaries. One, because I am online, and two, I wanted to make sure students were watching, for the most part, watching the same thing, and doing this in such a way that you didn't have to, buy the movie on Amazon or, rent it somewhere or, God forbid, pirate it, which wouldn't be good. This way, you'll be able to screen things at the same time. Our classes are only an hour and 15 minutes, so it might carry over a little bit between Monday and Wednesday, but I'll let you know when those times are. Just be sure that you're checking your email and keeping up to date with Canvas about when we will meet for specific screenings. Okay, if you come over to modules, I'll kind of put everything in there, and I will have it module 1, module 2, and I'll put the dates that it corresponds with. That doesn't mean that the dates for things necessarily fall into that time frame. Like, just for instance, if you have a paper or something, I'm not saying you do right now, but the due date might be later, but when I assign it might fall under this module time. But this will give you a reference to, like, when you need to check and make sure you're up to date with modules and things like that. Canvas is pretty intuitive, so you should have a calendar of when everything's due already. So just really make sure you're up to date with everything. I'll have a module overview, trying to keep it pretty simple since it's online. Sometimes more information makes things a little convoluted, but you can look at this and just kind of see. So you'll want to read chapters 1 and 2 of new history of the documentary, your required text, um, these lectures, this course introduction, and then lecture one will be posted soon. And then you will have 2 assignments this week. So you can kind of see with the overview doesn't always give you all the directions. My mouse is not clicking. But if you go to the actual assignment, you can kind of see more directions. So let's take a look at this first assignment, and this corresponds with lecture one. So for this assignment, find a documentary of your choosing. It should be between 45 minutes to an hour and 20. If it's part of a docu-series, that's fine for this assignment. Again, make sure it's at least 45 minutes long. I'm going to show you really quick. You can, if you don't have a Netflix or Prime account or some streaming platform, you can even probably just type in free documentaries online, and there might be some from different platforms that there might be commercials with it or something like that. But you might even be able to find one. If you can't, or are ever having trouble, these are links to the databases for our library. They have 3 different places that you can find a documentary. So not every week, but probably every other, I will either find one myself or ask you to go find. So for instance, we could come over to Alexander Street, and we'll see through the library, could come over to the film, and you can play around with it. I found that there's some actually pretty good ones on this one, and it wouldn't hurt to just take some time. I'm trying to find where I found it, but you can kind of start to find your own documentaries through this. Again, I might post specific ones, but if we're coming back to this assignment here, when you have to choose one, find one that looks appealing to you. Don't just grab the first one, find one that really stands out. And there's 3 different databases you can choose from for it, and look over and see what you can find. But I did find, just go back to it really quick, I found that this one had, now that, as you saw when I was kind of fumbling around on it a little bit, it's not the easiest platform to navigate, I'm not going to lie. But you can start to search it and see what's out there. I'd spent some time on it, and I didn't have a tremendous amount of trouble like I am now, but it's certainly making itself a little bit more difficult. But if you kind of play around on this, you're gonna find some stuff that I think looks pretty good. Sony, this one right here, Sony Pictures Classic, that has some pretty there's some pretty good documentaries in there. So that's exactly what I was looking for. I might just make a link just of this one, because they have some pretty classic ones in there. Okay. So coming back to assignment 1, really what I'm trying to do with assignment 1 is just get you more actively engaged in watching, and specifically from the point of view of how is the filmmaker, I don't want to say manipulating us, but using the art forms to help us feel a certain way about that documentary. So after you watch lecture 1, it'll make sense. We'll talk about shot choices, lighting, things like that give you sort of a visceral feeling about what's going on. So you'll write a short response based on lecture 1, a little bit self-explanatory, 2 to 3 paragraphs. For this class, when I say academically written, it means I'm not looking for casual tone conversation. Although I think when we're talking about whether we like to film or not, there's a little bit of subjectivity to it. But we're putting on our thinking caps a little bit to talk about why we feel a certain way about a film, the effectiveness of it, and things like that. So we're not always going to watch stuff that you maybe would enjoy or is your go-to film for just wanting to relax or whatever. Some of these might be a little bit more cognitive, they might be a little bit drier, um, but we're going to look at things academically. So, 2 to 3 paragraphs. What worked for this film? What did you notice? So, we're really trying to just engage ourselves, immerse ourselves in watching film. So, that is assignment 1. Again, lecture 1 should be posted soon, and you can go ahead and start on that. Assignment 2, you in the documentary. This one is just, I'd like to get to know who you are and what you hope to get out of this class. So 2 options, record and upload a 1-minute video introducing yourself. Are there any documentaries you love, ones you want to see, ones that changed how you see the world? Just give me a quick intro, who you are, and what you want to gain from this class. Option 2, maybe you don't want to record yourself. Perfectly fine. Same thing, just write it out and we'll go from there. So let's take a quick gander at the syllabus, which probably could have started with, but oh well. Since this is an online class, I'll let you kind of, really look at the details at your leisure. My office hours by appointment, just send me an email at this email and we'll schedule something. Again, your book is A New History of the Documentary, 2nd edition, by Betsy A. McLean. I didn't have all the details on there, but hopefully you have that by now. Goals, outcomes, you can look it over. This is kind of a breakdown of your assignments, what you can expect. All things are subject to change. But this is kind of how I see things geared right now. You'll have 500 points worth of weekly assignments, short papers, responses, online discussion. I don't know if I'll have an online discussion every week. I kind of have found students don't love them, but it's a good way, I think, for people to discuss what they thought, since we won't be meeting in class all the time to go over a movie. You'll have a midterm. Exactly what that'll be, I don't know as of yet. It'll probably be short responses to the films we've seen so far. You'll give a presentation probably at like 3/4 of the way through the semester. Basically, you'll find a documentary and you'll just give a 15-minute overview of it based upon, what we're learning in class now. And then at the end of the semester, you'll have a choice between doing either a more comprehensive paper, or if you're interested in it, I will allow you to make a documentary of your own. So if you even if you don't know how to film necessarily, I can help walk you through how to create a nice, easy documentary. And it could be a little bit more fun than a paper. I'm going to assume juniors and seniors, since you've already taken some film classes, I'd even entertain the notion of allowing 2 people to work on one together. But we'll kind of get to that a little bit more into the semester. I don't want to overwhelm you. If you've never shot one before, don't feel obligated. You can opt to just say, hey, I just as soon do a paper. And I will sort of balance out, time so it's somewhat equivalent. And when I say make a documentary, these do not have to be professionally looking, ready for Netflix movies at all. This is just having fun, being creative, and using the tools that we learned in class to make something creative versus writing a paper. And then you'll have a final exam. Okay, again, course screenings for when we have them, I will let you know. it will be during that 2 o'clock hour. So the time that has been already allotted for this class, I'll say, hey, go to Robinson 206. Somebody will screen the movie for you there. Attendance. So if you, it's kind of hard when it's an online class, but if you have your presentation or something like that, um, just come with documentation if you can't be there for some reason. Participation. Don't hesitate to send me an email if something comes up, even if it's not like, hey, I don't understand how to do this. It could just be, hey, I watched a really great documentary. I wanted you to know about it. I would like to tell the class about it, whatever the case may be. Canvas, everything will be posted there, and you can just check that whenever you want. For, like I said, I'm going to kind of try and hit week or 2 week long chunks, so you'll know module 1 is from this time to this time, module 2 is, or you'll have 2 weeks to kind of complete everything. So that will all be there for you. One more thing is, don't let yourself get so far behind that you're scrambling to get caught up. Always reach out to me if something comes up and you need help with something, if something's not making sense, or you're, all of a sudden you find yourself 2, 3, 4 assignments behind. Reach out to me and let's get you back on track. Inevitably, in every class, there's always a couple people who maybe you're on teams, and you've just gotten busy, or you have senioritis, whatever it is. Generally speaking, I don't accept late work, but I am human and I know stuff definitely comes up. So that is an introduction to the class. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy this semester and we all get something out of it. Good luck on module 1. Lecture should be coming soon.